So I think a lot of people probably thought yesterday would be a quiet and unassuming Sunday. It was the day before the national championship. NFL was on, but instead, we got an action-packed day of transfer portal news. And today, we need to break down two major additions that occurred yesterday. One for the Oklahoma Sooners, the other for Colorado, but both huge wins for their respective programs. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you impressed with how your team has utilized the transfer portal? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions may seem small, but they truly are massive for content creators such as myself, and both getting picked up and maintained by the YouTube algorithm. And we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this, and we're going to start with the Oklahoma Sooners, who get more depth on their defensive front, and this time a piece from Wake Forest in Rondell Bothroyd, and this is an interesting addition. Now, he's listed as a defensive lineman, however, I believe he's going to play edge first and foremost because of Brent Venables' defense, and secondly, whenever I look at how he was utilized, I just think he's going to fit perfectly into what Oklahoma wants to do, and he has some versatility. I think that matches up exactly with what Oklahoma wants. So who is Rondell Bothroyd? Well, he's a very experienced player in college football, and over the past 2 seasons, he's notched 14 sacks, so he's been very productive, and because of that, he gives Oklahoma the trio. A guy at a position of need, adding more depth into that defensive front, someone who has experience and someone who's been very productive. Something that the transfer portal allows you to get that really changes the outlook for a lot of college football teams. And when we look, Oklahoma has utilized the transfer portal very successfully. This is one of several additions they've gotten that have really excited the Oklahoma Sooners fan base, and they sit within the top 20 teams in transfer portal acquisitions. But when we look top to bottom, there's some really solid additions, and every addition they have hits a position of need. So I think Oklahoma has navigated the transfer portal quite successfully. They would have loved to have gotten in Matt Lee, who ended up going to Miami, but at the end of the day, you still have got to be over the moon with your transfer portal acquisitions, whether that's Stogner, whether that's McCullough, and now with this addition, I think you need to be very excited. Bothroyd, like I said, has versatility. He'll be utilized all over that defensive front for Oklahoma, but he'll allow some other guys to not only learn from him, but develop themselves because there's someone else there that's able to handle some of the load. So very interested to see what ends up there. But now we need to take a trip from Norman to Pac-12 territory to Boulder, Colorado, where Coach Prime and the Buffaloes continue stacking wins, and this is really impressive. And this win they just got, this is one of their more notable ones, which is crazy to say when you look at their transfer portal acquisition class, which currently sits as the #1 class in transfer portal acquisitions. When we talked yesterday, they sat at number 2. Now they're at number 1. And a big reason because of that is former Arkansas safety Mysles Slusher, who is a 4-star, top 200 guy coming out of high school, blue chip prospect, and he's only backed that up in his time in college football. Through 20-plus games, Slusher has been very productive. We're talking multiple interceptions, we're talking multiple tackles, a real difference maker in the secondary. He stands 6 foot, 195 pounds, and having played at Arkansas, he's played big-time football in the SEC. And if you're Coach Prime in Colorado, you're getting someone who's very talented, who's played against some of the biggest names in college football on a week-in, week-out basis. He's been in the big games. He's been against the big offenses. He's played against the huge names in college football, and now he goes to your defensive back room that's already loaded. I'm really interested to see what this defensive back room looks like for Colorado when it's all said and done. When you look at some of the names they've gotten, some of the names in the transfer portal, it's going to be a fun battle to watch. But Slusher absolutely adds in a layer of excitement that if you're a Colorado fan, you have to be over the moon about. Whenever we look at this, through 23 games specifically, he had 93 tackles, 9 tackles for loss and 2 interceptions. So just like I said earlier, very productive player doing it all. And if you're looking at the weekend Colorado has had, they added in a lineman from Florida, they added in a long snapper, and now they add in a former top 200 guy coming out of high school, Mysles Slusher. This has been a fantastic weekend for Coach Prime in Colorado, and it begs the question, what's next? What's in store? Coach Prime tried to warn everybody that Colorado was coming. Now they sit as the #1 transfer portal class in the nation, and I have got to know your thoughts. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.